Did you start recording? Okay.
I don't like that voice.
This is the part where we actually do the end of the discussion. Wow, they made it to the end and discussed their game, but everybody's been watching those. So we really thought it would be much more entertainment to bring you guys in because you know your boys better than all of us.
That we do.
So welcome, Lori and Mike. This is Casey and Michael's parents, and they have made it to the end of SinSation, and they are actually real life brothers. So they fit the theme. And I'll be honest, I didn't think either one of them was going to allow the other one to get to the end. Originally in the interview, Casey said he was going to take Michael out and just kick him to the curb when it got time in the game. But I guess that time never showed up for Michael or Casey because here they both sit.
Yeah, no, I don't think that Casey might have said that, but I don't think that was ever his plan.
Although we did hear a lot of arguing going on.
So how often did you have to put him in timeout?
It's just once or twice. No, they were actually pretty good about it. They did have to step away a couple of times and just say, you know what, we're not even going to talk about the game right now because we can't go there.
There were certain points in the game we saw them arguing in their chats about how they felt the direction should go at the end. Tawni was a big one for them. I know Casey was about keeping Tawni in, and Michael was about getting Tawni out. So that was kind of.
Yeah, we didn't hear. We heard a lot of the behind the scenes stuff, but probably obviously not everything. But I know they didn't see eye to eye on a few things.
Right, and plus each of them would share their next game plan with us and just say, don't tell Michael, or Michael said, don't tell Casey. So we knew what was going on before it even went on.
So did you guys bribe them with chores? Like, oh, if you go wash and wax my car, we can talk about what I won't tell Michael today.
No, I should have, though. I should have. It was hard, though. It was hard keeping him. Like, a couple times he was talking to one or the other on the phone, and I'm like, don't say anything. They said not to say anything.
She always thinks I'm going to slip up or something like that.
He has almost a couple times. But, yeah, it's been fun, though, to hear all the stuff and know what's going on when the other one's telling us something, and I'm thinking in my head, yep, we already know that.
Yeah, when I went to send Casey his idol, he was like, is it going to be unmarked? And I was like, well, I'm sending it through Amazon, but I'll make sure they write on the envelope, this is an immunity idol, because at first he wasn't going to tell Michael he got it.
I don't know. Yeah, I guess he did tell him. Yeah,
I think he told him towards the end of the game he finally came clean with them.
Oh, okay, yeah. I don't know. They had they knew what each other's plans were, I think, until like final decision when sometimes they went their own way. So
yeah, I remember a couple times too when Casey was like yelling to me about Michael. I don't know what the hell he's doing or something like that. Things of that sort, but
so Casey told us he's your guys' favorite. That Michael comes in second. So what makes Casey your favorite?
Casey is obsessed with parents having favorites and kids having favorite kids having favorite parents and parents having favorite kids. I tell them, like, I don't have a favorite. I love them all the same, but in different ways and for different reasons.
And Casey would say, no, you have to have a favorite.
That's what he told us, because Michael said, no, she loves us all equally. And he said if he picked a favorite, it would be your daughter. And Casey was like, no, I am the favorite.
Yeah, Casey just has a thing with that. I do we rely on Casey for a lot of stuff, but Casey's like Casey's like the responsible one, and if I need something done, I know to tell Casey and he'll take care of it.
So Casey shared a really heartwarming story. He said he got into Survivor because of you two. He said he watched it on Sunday nights when they'd have the finale. You'd let him stay up late, even if it was a school night, and watch the finale.
Yeah, because we started from the very first episode.
Well, no, it was the first season. We were down the shore on vacation. Casey was, oh my God, Casey was what, like
I don't know.
7, I don't know. He was young, and we caught it. I think it was raining, and we were in, and we caught an episode of it, and we were just hooked. And yeah, we would let them stay up and like watch it with us. And they had bedtimes when they were little, but on the finale night, yes, we would let them stay up and like watch it. Yeah, me and Casey, we have a lot of shows we watch together that we bond over. But yeah, Survivor is a big one.
Yeah, he was just because I was like me. That was my son and me. My husband always worked nights, so my son and I. But on finale night, all bars off. We'd even do like special Survivor dinner and make it into a little party. And
nice.
Him and I would sit there and watch the finale because he was really young too. I think he was 6 or 7 when the first season came out. I just remember he was such a huge Colby fan and was so disappointed when Tina won the next season. I tried to warn him. Kobe should have took Keith.
Yeah, I don't know how. I mean, Casey has watched every season multiple times. He remembers the different seasons. I mean, I've watched them all, but he remembers the different seasons, the people, like the plays, the moves, everything.
Yeah, because I think he's watched each season about 100 times each.
I'm waiting for him or Michael to get on the show. I keep telling them, why aren't you guys pushing it and applying and getting on the show? You're at the right age to do it.
Yeah,
right, absolutely.
Casey's applied a couple of times. I think he's about to apply again. So yeah, they would be awesome.
Oh, I would love to see them on the show. So what was it like watching them throughout? I mean, were you surprised that they actually were able to pull it off and go to the end together?
I personally don't think so, because like they're total opposite, but the total opposite works well within a game type thing like that. Because obviously one of them is more vocal and more of a standout leader, while the other one can be, very loyal to people. His promises are everything, and very strategic, and could be like a quiet assassin type thing behind the scenes instead of.
I mean, they're both. I'm not surprised they both made it to the end. I mean, and in other games that we've seen them play, I know they could have made it farther, but sometimes circumstances like tribe swaps and different things like happen. But they were able to play the game they wanted for the most part. It was interesting to watch though.
Definitely.
Like I said, we knew they were playing together, but at the same time, they were playing together and had very similar games, but at the same time, they played each in their own individual style and way still, which was kind of cool. Interesting when they didn't see things eye to eye, and Casey made a lot of predictions about Michael, going the other way that he wanted them to. So, but so far, it panned out for Michael. So we'll see what happens on Monday night.
So if you guys were to predict right now, who do you think has a better chance? Since you guys watch Survivor, you know how this works. Who do you think has a better chance of winning right now between the whole theme, the jury management, the management of the game? Which one would you vote for if you guys could vote?
Oh, we've been talking
about it all day. Played a great game. Because Casey was asking us that. Who do you think deserves it more? Blah, 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 all that kind of stuff. We did see quite a bit, but there's bits and pieces that we haven't seen that might be, someone might play this a little better, that a little better. So we didn't get to see all the behind the scene type things So there are some pieces that we're missing to really piece it all together to say, hey, this one has it above the other one, hands down type thing.
Yeah, I mean, I honestly 100% think it could go to either one of them. And it's going to be interesting to hear both of their pleas or whatever, Monday night, to see what they actually, because we saw what they did from what they told us and like what people can see on like Tribal, but other people in the jury seeing what they did like behind the scenes. So it's going to come down to the jury and how they're voting. If they're voting for loyalty, if they're bitter about something, because strategically I think they both had a really good strategic game. I think they both have a very strong social game too. And then, Michael was kicking butt in the competitions for a while there, and then Casey, like, at the end, because came up to speed too with them and won those last couple ones. So I mean, I don't know. I think they both. I think what you should do, Sherry, is, since it was blood versus water and like couples coming in, since a couple made it to the end, they should just be co-winners and they both win.
Spoken like a true mom.
We actually talked about that. We were like, I think it was around final 8 when I looked at Sean and I was like, you realize Casey and Michael are going to be at the end together. And he's like, I agree 100%, because we realized that their games, whether they saw it or not at that time, because Michael was still talking about going to the end with Mark, and Casey was talking about going to the end with Tawni, and they were both, saying different things, but I was like, their games are about to collide, and they're going to end up right there together at the end, because neither one of them is willing to budge on that, on taking each other out until final 5 or final 4. And so I was like, and that's going to be too late. If they wait that long to go after each other, they're going to the end together. And sure enough, that's exactly what went down.
Yeah.
I mean, I think going into the game, before it ever even started, like, the whole thing was like, which I would think every duo that went into it was like, we're going in together. Like, we want to be together at the end. I mean, they're going to come in second. If one of them's going to come in second to somebody, they'd rather it be to their brother than to somebody else. So, but, in the heat of the moment, Casey says stuff, Michael says stuff. So, that's why it's hard when you do tribals, like, right after, a challenge, and they don't have, like, time to, like, really digest it and, like, take it in and, like, cool down.
And I think if somehow the two didn't end up together, I think it would have been Casey probably cutting Michael before Michael would have cut Casey. For sure.
Michael's much more emotional. Michael is much more emotional. We saw that on his face several votes.
Well, Casey's loyal too. Casey is loyal
to a certain degree,
but Casey
game would take over.
Casey could, put his emotions to the side and play the game, whereas Michael, well, you could see it with Michael with Mark at the end. So, see, I don't know. I didn't know any of the other players besides Mark, and I mean, I only know Mark from, like, watching him on the games, but I was like, I knew the three of them got along really well, so I was actually happy that it was the three of them at the end. But I knew in my heart, like, if Michael or Casey, if either one of them won the immunity with the final 3, that either one of them would have sent Mark home, and it would have been the 2 of them at the end.
Well, I'm not too sure about that.
Whether Michael knew it or not, we talked about that, Sean and I, the way they did the sunshine thing. Mark had sunshine voting for Michael. Casey had already voted for Mark, which left Michael and Mark in charge of that vote at the end. But Mark could have got really slick and actually still voted with sunshine and taken Michael out right then and there. But
oh yeah,
because I said, what if Mark changes his mind and takes out blindsides Michael and takes Michael out? That would be a great game move on his part.
I mean,
I was really shocked he didn't do it, to be honest.
I think Mark is kind of like Michael to a certain degree. Their two loyalty to each other, is probably what made Mark not do it. Mark, already said that Michael is like his best friend in the York community and all that kind of stuff. So, I think they're kind of the same player almost to a certain degree. Their loyalty just wouldn't allow them to do it. Their word was their bond. Basically.
And I think once Mark, like, cooled down from everything, like, he knew, I think he wanted a final 3 with Casey and Michael. So,
I would have to agree.
That's exactly what happened. I mean, when Sherry, you said, oh, we're going to go, if you want to do tribal right now after the challenge, and Mark had released, like, oh, I think I'm going to vote out Michael. And then, when Michael got upset,
my response was like, what? Because they still laugh about that, because I couldn't believe Mark just said, I'm going to vote out Michael.
We missed that tribal. I'm very upset that we missed that tribal.
The next morning, the whole conversation between Mark and Michael change in Mark's perspective, because he really wanted, he was conflicted. Like his emotions were really getting to him, and that's when Mark came up with the plan to vote out Sunshine.
And Michael was like very careful. He like the way that he responded to Mark with that plan, he was treading very lightly, and he was, you know, really thinking about the way he was responding to stuff, because he wanted Mark to come to that on his own and then stay with that decision. So I don't know. I knew, like deep down, I was like, all right, I know it's going to be the three of them for the final three.
It was funny when Casey went to the breakout room with Sunshine. Mark and Michael whispering like somebody's going to hear them. And it's right on.
Because I went and watched that today. I was listening to their conversation today because they're the only conversation everybody could hear. Because I didn't want to record what was going on in the whisper rooms because I couldn't. That would have taken what Mark. It's weird how Zoom has that set up.
Mm-hmm.
I wish they'd allow us to do individual, and I think there is a way to do it. We just haven't figured it out yet. I think Casey said he could show us.
He probably knows. I'm sure he does. It was funny because when we were watching that tribal, and I guess it was after the tribal before you did the challenge, and Casey went off camera, and then he had to go to the bathroom, and it was like I was gonna text Michael and say we're waiting on Casey again, or always waiting on Casey, because Casey makes us late for everywhere. We're always waiting on
that
Casey.
He does.
Tawni, you had some questions. Go ahead.
I have questions.
Did you have a question you wanted to ask or bring up?
Not that I if I did earlier, I totally forgot as soon as I got home.
Well, Tawni, you started out the game with the brothers, as they were known in the game. Everybody called them the brothers in their confessionals. They were always the brothers. Which one did you felt it was automatically, you connected more with Casey than with Michael right from the beginning, didn't you?
Yeah, I connected with Casey a lot easier. I think it's because like we were able to talk about the fact that like we're basically the exact same age, which doesn't really happen in this community. It's always like people that are like in their earlier 20s. And like we're both 28, so it's like we both were able to like talk about like same like childhood experiences growing up with like certain technologies or just this, that, and the other. But like Keaton and I, we both like got along with like both of them pretty well, like very early on. And so yeah, so it's like they were like two people that I definitely was seeing myself like working with like throughout the entire game. And then Michael did what Michael did and decided to jump ship. So, and then Casey, I guess, kind of floating in between North and South side once we merged, but he kept me around. So to me, that's all that really matters.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. I mean, Michael and Casey are very easy to, you know, get along with, and, you know, they're both cool guys. So, I mean, it doesn't surprise me that you guys like, you know, get along and everything. But yeah, I mean, the way they play their game, yeah, a little different. So I could see why maybe you were with Casey a little more, but especially after what we did. But yeah, it was fun to watch the whole dynamic. It is interesting when you do the duos, you know, the blood versus border. So
it really is, because Casey, the first thing he said to me was he went and did his homework. As soon as the cast was released, he went on everybody's Facebook, because that's a Zoom Viber move. Casey went right in to do it. And he was like, Sherry, you put me on a team with everybody who's actually met up in real life. We're going to be first vote outs. And I was like, trust me, Casey, the wheel did it to you, but I know you and your brother can maneuver this. And they did. I don't know if they even realized in what a good position they were in the beginning of the game. Everybody was like, oh, I love the brothers. I trust the brothers. They had no chance of going home unless their tribe had consistently lost, which I think Sean and I talked about that. We knew they were the stronger. Tawni's really good at challenges. Keaton's good at I just knew they were going to do well in challenges.
We were talking about it in the jury chat earlier about if we had like continued to lose after that first one, like would it have been Taisha? And it's like Minor and I had both spoken up how like neither of us like wanted Taisha gone, neither did Timmy, and Keaton didn't really care at that point. but it's like, I know he and I both like the brothers. Timmy and Minor might have tried to go after them just for the fact that I think that they were saying their name like with that first random vote that we did. But like Keaton and I both really like got attached to them. So it's like we weren't going to let them go anywhere. And especially after that stupid rumor of like the fact that half the cast was in a fucking alliance together, like there is no way we were going to like lose them, because it's like we wanted them like on our side. Like we could, like we bonded with them really well. We very much, even if like they didn't turn out to be like good at challenges, like we like nominated Casey to do so much while we were still in tribes, just because of like how great he actually is. Yeah. Oh, speaking of Keaton, there he goes. He's texting me now.
So tomorrow night when we go live, I'm really looking forward to see the arguments, but I think parents' perspective is definitely the one perspective we were lacking in this game. And it's kind of awesome the way this game, I wish we could, but what we do have the hero and the villain of the season going against each other at the end, because by far Michael was more of a hero to a lot of degrees than Casey, because Casey was the one willing to make the villainous moves when it came time at the end to push comes to shove to do it.
Yeah, and he kind of told me that, he was playing the villain type person out of the group. He was, at times, his acting abilities were really good too. And, I would definitely see him as a villain, Michael as a hero. Yeah, for sure.
I would like to get them in a live game, because that's my next step, is to try to go to a live game where they come here and play a live game. Right. And I would like to see them together in a live game and see how they did under that kind of pressure.
Yeah, that would be really fun.
You might see some hitting and all that kind of stuff at that point.
We'll definitely be using the timeout, because that was one thing that killed me with Casey during tribals. It'd be like, Casey, get out of the conversation you're in and get your butt in the tribal. He'd leave us waiting and waiting and waiting, and I was like, don't let him in the room.
We are always, that's the saying in our house, always waiting for Casey. Like if we're going somewhere as a family or we're doing something, we're always waiting on Casey. He's the last one to be ready.
Always waiting for him. He always has to be in control and everything else too.
Yeah, the way he is in the game is the way he is. He's a good guy.
Definitely. And you've raised two wonderful boys, because no matter who wins, whatever the outcome is tomorrow, they both deserve to be here. We had no goats or pawns at the end of this game.
Yeah,
that speaks volumes.
Yeah, that was something I definitely noticed about this game. There were no goats.
No, everybody was here to win it and play it, and they didn't always get the moves they wanted, and it ended with them leaving, but there wasn't from lack of effort, that's for sure.
Yeah.
Well, thank you guys. We do appreciate you coming in. If you want to say any final thoughts to them, because they'll be seeing this tomorrow, you want to do any shout outs to your favorite son?
To both of my favorite sons, Michael and Casey, congratulations. You guys both played a awesome game. In my opinion, you are both winners.
Congratulations, guys, on being there. I wouldn't have doubted it at any point. Good luck. I kind of do think, but I'm going to keep it to myself. One has the edge over the other, but I'm going to keep that to myself.
Aw, spoken like a true parent. I know how I'd be saying the same.
Equally deserving. They are both equally deserving.
I'm not usually like that. I'm usually like really, I'll just say it, and, but I think his mom's been nudging me not to kind of.
If Michael were to win tomorrow, are you guys all going to hide from Casey for the next week?
Oh, hell yeah. Casey would be pissed off for weeks.
No, he won't. No,
yes, he will.
He will. He'll take it in, process it, and hope it's fine. It's a game.
But like his processing will be like he would think about every single juror, why they voted that way.
We'll have something to hold over his head if that happens.
Well, thank you guys again. We can't thank you enough. And you guys have a wonderful evening, and we look forward to tomorrow night, because I think it is going to be really exciting.
I can't wait till tomorrow.
Yeah,
night.
we'll see you then.
All right. Bye, guys. And you guys did a great
Yeah.
job. Keep doing